on this episode of Shooting the Shit with Sands.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I am who I am. My name is my name. And welcome into another video of Shooting the Shit with Sands, man. What is up, everybody? Oh, my God. My throat was fried. Pause. All right. So, update on my teams. One of them's dead. One of them's more than alive. I'm not dead yet, though, because me being me, this is what I did in the previous week. That is a standard league, not a PPR league. That's what I did in the previous week. So, I mean, Mac Jones comes out, balls out. You know, this is what we deal with in fantasy. But I just want to show that the math was right, that the calculations were right. Okay? I got to show it. So, this is the fantasy quarterly. All right, this is the fantasy quarterly update of the rankings. All right, I'm not updating my actual rankings. I am going through my hate list and my love list because a lot of these fantasy experts, right, that those aren't real, right? They're over here debating Michael Carter versus DeMarcado. That's what we're wasting our time on is Michael Carter and DeMarcado, right? And let me tell you, I think Michael Carter is the easy choice in that selection. Once again, it's week 4. I now will do waiver wire videos. It's week 4. I will now do stock is rising videos. I am not in this to give bold, hot takes. I know that's what I feel like you say you don't want it, but you click on those videos. But I'm not here to go, ooh, waiver wire pickup, go get Isaiah Davis when I don't believe it. I don't think anybody's worth picking up right now. I don't think anybody worth picking up is going to be available in a good league. If Woody Marks is available post week 1 of your league, you're in a bum league. Or you're in an 8-man league. All right, these smaller formats of leagues. I get it. I'm not hating. I'm just letting you know you're the sharp of the idiots. Okay, and everybody thinks they're in a sharp league. We got to stop doing that. You got 2 to 3 dudes that know what they're doing. Take advantage of the shitty players with dumb trades. You have a loaded team. You show your coworkers. And inside, they ask themselves, who the fuck are you drafting with? But they go, wow, man, good team. You know how I know? Because when I was posted up working at fucking Home Depot, I did that every week. All right. You worked at Home Depot? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did, man. Bills got to get paid. You got to take your ego out of it. All right, guys, here we go. The hate list is the first one we are looking at. Round 1, I haven't got a single one right. Oh, shit. The first one on the board, completely wrong. CMC. Yeah, I honestly don't think I'm way out of pocket for my prediction. I knew the O-line would be shape-shifting. I've never been a Brock Purdy guy, but that also, if you don't believe in a quarterback, you got to think that the dump-offs are coming. This motherfucker right here is second overall in targets behind Puka Nacua. That's without counting this week. I bet counting this week, it's the same after Thursday night. He's 23rd in rush yards. He's only carrying the ball for 3.1 yards a carry. He has 0 rushing touchdowns. I think as a team, they have 0 rushing touchdowns, actually. He has 2 touchdowns overall before this week, guys. And he's number 1 in red zone targets for a running back. He has 0 big plays. I've been completely wrong on this. The volume is absurd. I did say on my love-hate video, or on my hate video, I said, hey, listen, they're going to give him the ball 25 to 30 times if he's out there. I just don't know how long he's going to be out there. That's why you saw my roster. I'm like refusing to drop Brian Robinson. I really am. And I think it's going to end up being a bad choice because not even I think CMC's health is guaranteed. I just think that they're going to be a carousel if he gets hurt. So we're going to have to see about that. But for right now, I am way off on CMC. And I'm not addressing the mustache. I am growing it out for a costume, maybe a permanent look for me, though. I think I look fucking hot, to be honest. All right, second guy on the list, dude I was completely off of. on and off of at the beginning of the season just because of quarterback injury, wide receiver 7, ADP, wide receiver 1, Puka Nacua. What a prediction by me, huh? So you either thought, one, you're like, bro, it's Puka. I don't give a shit who's throwing him the ball, who he is. In that offense, I want him, right? If Matthew Stafford gets hurt, I'll deal with it. He'll probably be a playable player, a wide receiver 2 at the worst, right? And guys like that were right. But my math was correct. The answer didn't come out right? I had the right equation, but I put in some wrong numbers and it didn't come out right. I said basically my whole point was he's an in-between the 20s guy. He's a DJ Moore type guy, not with stats or anything like that, just not being a viable red zone target. He's 44th in red zone targets. Obviously, last night he caught a little rub route for a tug. He had 50 targets coming into this week. He just broke the record for most catches in a 5-week period. He's second in YAC, top 3 in air yards, 3rd in broken tackles, 6 plays over 20 yards. I swung and I whiffed, and I'm fine with it. Struck out on that one. And even if Matthew Stafford gets hurt, we'll know the reason that Puka kind of declines a little bit if that happens, right? And I'm not sitting here going, oh, I hope he gets hurt for my take to be right. I don't do all that. But the next guy I actually got right. And it's looking like it's going to stay that way, but he changed his stance. He was getting drafted at RB6. Almost bit my tongue right there. Almost did it. Did you see it? He's actually RB13. And before week 4, he was RB33. His longest play was 18 yards. But the work was there, right? And if you're an Ashton Jeanty owner, you just keep going, bruh. Every week I look and he's getting 20 touches. The only reason I get off on, I stay off of rookie RBs in those early rounds, really the first and second round when it comes to running back and really receiver, I don't think the teams are built for them yet. I don't think the Raiders are built for Ashton Jeanty. I think that's why you bring in Geno Smith, who can take a fucking beating like he did in Seattle and stay in there, hang in the pocket, get the throws down. That hasn't happened either, by the way. It looked promising week 1. Shout out to the Brock Bowers owners. Guy on my love list, by the way. He listened to Gruden, got down in his stance, and then last week he stood up. We can act like it's the stance. I'll be with you there. That was the Bears. That's the Bears defense. Remember that. Okay. So, yeah, I think I'm right now on Jeanty, and I think he'll stay in this range, by the way. I just didn't like y'all taking him at RB5, RB4 in some drafts. I thought it was stupid, right? I said he was going to end as a top 15 running back. I just don't think he's top 5 worthy. All right, to the second round. Okay, round 2. Josh Jacobs was on the hate list. Now, once again, the take of hate is not, I don't draft this player, he's a bum. Another guy I thought would end in the top 12 to 15. I thought you drafted him at his ceiling at RB7. He is at RB7. But also to back that point up, he has the most work. He has the most attempts running the ball. He's 2nd in touchdowns. He's 7th in receiving yards. He's 8th in yards per reception. He's only been below 13 points once. He's been fantastic. And in that offense, it just looks like everything revolves around him. It does. Josh Jacobs is a workhorse. We finally have him in a good offense, a good run scheme in general. I do think he does kind of plateau a little bit as we see Jordan Love kind of revving up. I'm not talking about the Cowboys game. They are revving him up a little bit. You can kind of see the confidence growing, even with the targets diminishing, with Jaden Reed breaking the collarbone, with Christian Watt. I mean, he's going to be out forever. I mean, he just won't play. Even on a contract year, that motherfucker is going to miss games. So, yeah, I'm wrong for now. This isn't me saying I'm right and wrong. That may be what is on the graphic, by the way. Let me catch your eye. Yeah, I'm not wrong yet. We'll see how it goes. I think they're going to lower his workload as the season goes on, as it progresses, as they start rising in the standings. But we'll see, because Detroit looks incredible right now. So third round, who I hated. I smoked this round. All right, Ladd McConkey. Did you see the comments when I had that one on TikTok? Yeah. Did you see that one? All right. So he's third on his team in targets when I said, hey, now listen, Quentin Johnson is an admiration. Let's be real here. Don't sit here and fucking tell me you're like, oh, I told people QJ was going to develop. Okay, Chargers fan. Somewhere, all Chargers fans hate it. One of my best friends is a Charger fan. I got a Cowboy fan, a Charger fan, well, multiple Cowboys. I live in DFW. Multiple Cowboys fans, a Charger fan, and an Eagles fan. That's what I got, bro. You can sit here and tell me he was going to develop. Y'all fucking hated him. All right, he couldn't catch a ball for 2 years. Okay, so Ladd McConkey's third on his team in targets. He's wide receiver 56, 27 targets. He has as many as Mike Evans, who hasn't played in 2.5 weeks, and Troy Franklin. Man. Nah. You don't want to see that, do you? No, I was right on this one. He can elevate. He'll never be wide receiver 11. I'll say it again. Y'all are drafting him at wide receiver 11. Ugh. Yeah. And in the second round, I said in my video, I'm not going to defend everything that I'm wrong on. You're going to be right and wrong. That's why I love doing this shit, because in fantasy, it's like, who do I feel has the best chance to do this? Why? Did my math, my calculations are right? Just sometimes the formula ends up creating a fire. Okay, I don't know how else to explain it. But Josh Jacobs, the second round was my favorite group of players. I didn't hate anybody, and I straight up said, he's coming off the year with his most carries. I think you're in tune for an injury to happen. But anyways, so that's Ladd McConkey. Greg Roman has thrown the ball. I was wrong about that part, but the tackles are down. Let's wait and see what happens here with Greg Roman. I've seen this story before. Go look it up with fucking Lamar. Didn't want to pass the ball once, just rotating. Keaton Mitchell, Mark Ingram, whoever, Justice Hill, who was back there, all those guys. Okay. The next guy, ADP wide receiver 13. His current ranking is 59. Wide receiver 59. He has as many catches and targets as Tyquan Thornton. It is T. Higgins. You can blame Jake Browning all you want. Once again, I think T. Higgins is a very good top 20 wide receiver in fantasy, probably higher than that in real life. I don't see him how other people see him, even in the real life rankings, by the way. I don't see what y'all see about him being the best number 2 in the league. Pickens is better. Chris Godwin, when healthy, is better. Devontae Smith is better. Who else? Can I name more? I'm trying to squeeze one out of my brain. I'm sorry. Who's the number 2 in Kansas City at this point? Xavier Worthy to Travis Kelce, or Travis Kelce to Xavier Worthy? He's not a receiver, but still. Anyways, I'm not going to try to go through the list in my head as I'm looking at stats. It makes me flustered. I can name all the teams right now if you want. Okay. T. Higgins just isn't that guy like that. Okay. He ain't wide receiver 60, but he ain't wide receiver 10 either. Like, if you're drafting him at wide receiver 13, what were you expecting? His ranking to be like in-game wise. You have to draft him thinking, to me, I'm drafting to get somebody to end above where I drafted them or at. Do you think T. Higgins will ever finish at wide receiver 13 in points per week? Do you in 2025? I just don't see it. And T. Higgins, guys, he didn't have a chance to be wide receiver 13. I hope y'all know that. Y'all have to start realizing that. I know he has Joe Burrow. I know he has Jamar. Chase Brown and Jamar Chase are the 2 volume hounds in that offense. You got a third option that is a second receiver on his own team. I told you, man. There was no other wide receiver in the top 25 that got chosen that was a second option on his team, like on the depth chart. Not Ladd McConkey, who everybody thought was the one. I thought he was the one. T. Higgins was the only one drafted until Devontae Smith that was number 2 on his own team until wide receiver 25. So one of the dumber picks that everybody makes every year, and they always regret it. They're never like, damn, nah, I'm good on T. Then the last guy in this round is Kyren Williams. Now, before the explosion last night, I didn't even look at the rating. He was wide receiver 17. Y'all draft him at wide receiver 12. I'm not too far off on him. Blake Corum started getting his workload. I felt it coming. He started getting the workload. Kyren Williams has a fumbling issue. I believe he has 9 fumbles in 62 games that he's played. Something like that. 9 fumbles in a couple. It has to be less than that. 9 fumbles in 3 or 4 seasons, right? So I don't know. He's 7th in attempts. It just felt like Corum was coming for the split backfield. I don't think he was coming for the job. It just felt like he was coming to take that split backfield and take a lot of work from Kyren Williams, except for on third downs. That's what it was looking like to me, to be honest. Okay, round 4. A man taken at ADP 20. He is now wide receiver 15. It is DK Metcalf. Now, without that 80-yard slant route, he is wide receiver 30. He's 8th in touchdowns. I mean, and that, if you actually look at that, it's really like he's tied for 4th, to be honest. But Aaron Rodgers is 24th in pass attempts. Yeah, I just think my prediction is going to end up being right. I don't think DK Metcalf is going to be even with touchdowns, guys. Last year, he scored a few touchdowns. All right. He wasn't impressing nobody. I just don't think he's a good player. I don't think he's that good of a player at football. He is not a number 1 in the NFL. He's not. He is not a number 1 in the NFL. He's 39th in targets. Like, I'm cool. If I'm wrong on him and he keeps doing this shit, fine. I know that this will come back to the median. He'll probably finish around wide receiver 27 to 30. That's where he'll be at, like always. All right, the next guy, Davante Adams, ADP. He was wide receiver 19. His current ranking is wide receiver 12. He's 29th in receptions. He keeps getting the touchdowns that Puka will never get, apparently. And he's 6th in targets. Last night was a weird one. They just couldn't find him the football really last night until late. They started getting it to him, but he didn't do anything impressive. I'll have to see, man. I just was down on the Rams. I was, and I'm okay with being wrong on that. I made a team prediction. I really fell into those Matt Stafford back issues. I did. And he's taken a couple shots this year and got right back up. And I know Matthew Stafford's built different. I do. I know you've seen the fucking clip on Twitter where his shoulders out and he's like, and he gets in the fucking end zone. I've seen it too. We know he's a tough guy. All right. Doesn't mean you can be 40 with back issues. Okay. Here we go. And he's not 40, Hunter. We know that. Mid-30s. Okay. The one I hated, Kamara. Cha-ching. He's a saint. You can say, but Chris Olave. Cool. He can do his best Jarvis Landry impersonation all he wants with 238 catches and 600 yards. I don't give a fuck. Take it. It's fine. Cheap points. That's why I don't like whole point PPR, by the way. That's why I hate my 10-man league that I'm doing pretty good in. So I think I'm 3-1 in there. I think so. Yeah, I just hate that full point shit because guys like Chris Olave become like a wide receiver 10 and their team averages 11 points a game on offense. So he was ADP RB 15. He is now RB 26. He's getting the work rushing the ball, but the weird thing is Spencer Rattler will not throw him the football. So what you're used to is Alvin Kamara almost by far, even with like the prime Austin Eckler years where he was getting like 70 catches and shit. I think one year at 100 catches, Austin Eckler did. Am I tripping? There's just no way a running back had 100 catches, right? I'll Google that. I'll Google it. He had an absurd amount of catches. Anyways, This dude has as many targets as Justice Hill and Scatterbo. I don't think Scatterbo is a good player, by the way. I know he's just like the drunk frat guy that plays in intramurals but thinks it's tackle. That's what I think Scatterbo is. I legitimately I didn't see it in Arizona State. I didn't see it at all. I know he was on a winning team for now, a decent program. I just didn't see it. He was one of the guys. Yeah, he just isn't involved. He's on the Saints. That's never going to be a good thing. And yeah, he's 10th in attempts, 15th in yards, and he has 1 touchdown. I don't see how that changes. He might get traded. And I said in my video, hey, your best chance is to draft guys like Kamara and pray they get traded. There was another guy I thought about like that. I forgot who it was. I'll see. The last 4 rounds, I went to round 8 or 9, I believe. So we're going to do round 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to do 4 rounds. Round 5, ADP RB21, currently sitting at RB16. David Montgomery. He was on my hate list. Now let's look at the data. He had a 74-yard touchdown last week. Okay. Let's compare this year to last year. I said his work would go down. They would rely more on Gibbs. And when you say that out loud with how many touches Gibbs had, it doesn't make a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? But it does at the same time. Like, they're just going to give the ball to Gibbs more in bigger spots. It felt like sometimes on 3rd and 2, they went to David Montgomery instead of Gibbs just because he's bigger. And now it doesn't seem like that. So right now, David Montgomery is 28th in attempts. Through 4 weeks last year, he was 13th. Right now, he's 5th in touchdowns. That is insane. This year, he's 15th in red zone touches. Last year, he was 8th in red zone touches through 4 weeks. Last year, he was 4th in red zone points. This year, he is 18th through 4 weeks. So it's coming down. It's going to be a drift down. And once again, I think David Montgomery is the best at what he is. He is a touchdown-dependent RB2. And he is the best at that. I don't think there's any argument of that. Maybe Scatterbo. I am not this dude that's like Scatterbo and Judkins, fucking top 10 rest of the year. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I think that's a dumb take. I think it's a dumb take when the team that has the 3rd most offensive plays in the league, the Browns, can't score fucking 17 points in a game. I think that's bad. I think you're running into nothingness. You're preying on volume and that you get a field position battle to make you fall into the end zone. Anyways, round 6, a guy I hated more than life itself at that point, Jerry Jeudy. All the fantasy experts were telling you he's a sleeper. Did you see what Jameis did with him? As a Bucs fan, you can see it on the logo up here. You see the flag? See the flag? As a Jameis guy for a long time before, he's going to spam the number 1 target as much as possible. It doesn't matter if he's open. He may throw it to the sideline to him sometimes. He may throw it to the other team just because they have the same number as your number 1. That's what happens. And now he's at wide receiver 58. He's second. I was going to say second in targets when it's 22nd. Who took my brain? Who took my brain and replaced it with a dumber version of myself, which is hard to do. And hey, he's 1st in Cleveland target share. I honestly, when I draft somebody, I go, I hope that they're Joe Flacco's number 1 target in 2025. I always think that when I'm drafting people. I go, yo, in that 6th round, when I could possibly get Cortland Sutton, you know who I fucking love? Is Joe Flacco's number 1 target, man. Love that shit. Morons. All these fucking people that told you to draft that guy. And I told you to draft AJ Brown. So fucking, you know what I'm saying? Put one in me too, I guess. I just put in round 7 the Steelers backfield. I hated them both. Because the thing was, the calculation with Warren is PPR, he's always going to be kind of valuable as a deep flex, an RB3, a guy who can pop in on bye weeks. But he also never got even like 60% of the snaps. He never did. So now you drafted Warren at RB29. You drafted Caleb Johnson at RB27. I went and said, why are y'all fading Caleb now? He was never going to start out on the depth chart as a starter. You know what I mean? I was not impressed with the prospect of Caleb Johnson either. When did he become an explosive runner? Did you see like the combine? Did you see the scouting report on him? It's like he's not great at anything and he's not bad at anything. He's just like, yeah, that's what he is. And when you watch him run the ball, you go, God damn, it's fucking horrible. And what we didn't know was Kenneth Gainwell was just going to pop out of nowhere. Now, I thought it was an underrated signing. I thought we would feel the impact of it, but as a vulture, which he kind of is, he is RB21 right now. He's RB21. Caleb Johnson's RB87, and Jaylen Warren is RB27. Now, I'm like, on there. I want to see what their offense does, okay? Warren and Gainwell are only top 35 in touches. Like they got to 33. I think they're both right with each other. I don't know. This just isn't an impressive backfield. I don't think there's any like huge improvement. Like the stock goes up on Kenneth Gainwell. I feel like Rodgers is going to just make like, I don't know, they're going to lose a game and then he's going to say some offhand asshole comment about Caleb Johnson and Jaylen Warren. Yeah, man, we need to get 14 the ball more. You know, Kenneth Gainwell, yeah, I feel like he should be in the game. It's a Super Bowl champion. You know, nothing there to me. That's all I put. There's nothing here. Gainwell's getting a shit ton of targets, 10th in targets for RBs, and Warren randomly is not getting as many. They're running the ball with Jaylen Warren. Yeah, and then round 8, Cooper Kupp. He's finished above wide receiver 63 one time. Yeah. Y'all drafted him like wide receiver 40, and he was on the sleeper list, the deep sleeper list. When I saw the hair, man, when I saw the fucking hair, I knew he was fried. He lost all his discipline. He stopped cutting his hair. It's a joke, people. He has 1 week with over 5 targets. He is spamming Sam Darnold being he. He is spamming JSN. Okay? So, yeah, man, these aren't bad for now. If you really look into the data, I don't think these are that bad. Devontae Adams may stay in that area. I think he will sink down to wide receiver 20, though. I think he will. Yeah. I mean, the only real big miss is Josh Jacobs and CMC and Puka. That's the biggest misses. I don't think I have anything crazy right now to talk about. And my whole thing with CMC is, hey, Achilles tendonitis. If you want to play with it, play with it. I don't play with that. You want to play, I don't want to play. Play stupid games, get stupid prizes. Don't get stupid prizes when you don't get stupid games played. That's where I live, and that's a dumb game I wish I would have played. I had a chance to get him twice in both leagues. I didn't take it. Nope, actually, I'm lying. He was a keeper in my other league, which is also an insane decision by Tanner. You got to do it. You got to keep him. Okay, not true, Tanner. Brain dead fuck. All right, beat you last week with a goddamn, I don't know, Cook's Children's lineup. Here we go. That is the video for this one. For this one, we're going to come back with a love list, okay? That one's going to get real treacherous. But yeah, and then at the end of the year, I actually dissect all my draft takes as well. Because on the love and hate list, I'll go through my peeping and sleeping as well. Like, I will. But right now, we're going to do the love and hate. Keep it quick. Keep it short. All right? I'm coming back with content. Don't worry. We're coming back every week. And now the NBA season is revving up, guys. Let me tell you. I have a Miami Heat baseball jersey on right now, okay? Like Dwayne Wade. If you think I get balls deep into this, NBA is my shit. I've been researching teams for a couple weeks on my lunch break. I've been trying to get all the quips and all that about them, you know, what I think about. Because I'm more of an on-the-floor guy with NBA. Just give you a preview. I'm an on-the-floor guy. How do you mesh on the floor? I don't analyze salary cap. I don't go do the trade machine, but I'm not also telling you let's trade Tyler Hero for Steph Curry right now. I'm not saying shit like that either. All right. I am truly an unbiased Heat fan. That Heat Twitter shit ain't me. I know what we are. I know who those guys are. So either way, it's just a little bit of the content I make. So that's it for this video. We will be back with the love list. Lock in. I'm out.